Have you ever imagined a team breaking barriers and conquering everything with an underdog mentality? That's exactly what's happening with the Detroit Lions. Today, we're diving into the controversy surrounding Teddy Bruschi's statement, saying the Lions need to change their approach, and the emotional decision by Dan Campbell that showed why this team is so special. With bold plays and a unique connection between coach and players, the Lions are redefining the meaning of all in. You won't want to miss a single detail of this story. Hit that like button and stick around. All right, let's talk about the Detroit Lions and this whole play like you're on top narrative some folks are trying to push. After that gutsy win against the Packers in Week 14 featuring Dan Campbell's bold as hell call to go for it on 4th and 1 from their own 30-yard line, you'd think the conversation would be about how they're built differently. And for the most part, it was. But then you've got people like Teddy Bruschi coming in hot with takes that, frankly, don't make much sense. Bruschi's comment, "No more biting kneecaps. You're on top. Start playing and coaching like it." Now hold up. Let's dissect that. First off, the Lions aren't on top yet. Yes, they're 12-1, riding an 11-game win streak, and they've secured the NFC North title for the first time in forever. But none of that equals top dog status in this league. Not until there's a Lombardi trophy sitting in Detroit. And honestly, why would you stop playing with that underdog, fight for every inch mentality? That's what's gotten them here. The Lions have thrived on the idea that nobody believed in them. It's the fuel for this team Dan Campbell's whole ethos, really. Look, winning the division, big deal. Snapping that playoff drought, huge. But none of it matters if they don't finish the job. Ask fans of the 2017 Jaguars or those Chargers teams under Norv Turner. Hell, the 49ers have been incredible for a decade. But what do people remember? Mahomes and the Chiefs beating them in the Super Bowl. That's the point. History doesn't care about regular season dominance or almost seasons. It remembers champions. So why stop biting kneecaps now? This team still has everything to prove. Playing like the underdog isn't a crutch, it's their edge. And anyone who thinks it's time to change that mindset clearly doesn't understand what's made this Lions team special in the first place. Keep fighting like nobody believes in you, Detroit, because until you're holding that trophy, they don't. What do you think? Should the Lions abandon this underdog mentality? Share your thoughts in the comments. Now get ready, because the next story dives into how the trust between Dan Campbell and Jared Goff changed the course of the game against the Packers. The Detroit Lions and their aggressive approach continue to make waves, especially when it comes to bold decisions in crucial moments. Dan Campbell, the mastermind behind it all, isn't just rolling the dice, he's going all in on the trust he has in his team. And as we've learned, Jared Goff played a massive role in the game-winning play against the Packers. In the victory over Green Bay, the Lions faced 5 fourth-down situations and converted 4 of them. But the most talked about was the final decision 4th and 1 on the Packers' 21-yard line, with the game tied at 31 and less than a minute on the clock. Instead of securing the field goal and giving the Packers about 40 seconds for a miracle comeback, Campbell decided to go for it all, controlling the clock and guaranteeing the game-winning kick with no time left for the opposition. And this is where Goff's role shines. According to Richard Sherman, who was covering the game for Prime Video, the decision to go for it was as emotional as it was strategic. Sherman revealed that Campbell initially planned to send out the field goal unit to seal the deal, but when Goff found out, his reaction changed everything. Dan was on the headset saying we were going to kick, but Goff was visibly disappointed, almost defeated, and said, "Man, I wanted to go for it." At that moment, Campbell looked at him and said, "You want to do this? Then let's go." And he changed his mind right there. That's pure trust, Sherman recounted. This interaction shows why Dan Campbell is so respected as a leader. He's not just a coach giving orders, he truly believes in what his players have to say. This trust extends beyond the offense. Campbell knows that even if the attempt fails, his defense can handle it. Sherman put it plainly. Some might question if this is how it should be, but the answer is yes, because at the end of the day, do you trust your team or not? If your quarterback says he can do it, you listen. It's that instinct, that mutual faith, that makes players give everything for Dan Campbell. They believe in him because he believes in them. And that's why the Lions are where they are. It's not just about schemes or execution. It's about the genuine connection between coach and team. This bond is driving Detroit to the top, 1 4th down at a time. Look, one thing is clear, these Lions are proving that trusting your team makes all the difference. But let's be honest, until they lift that trophy, there's still a lot to prove. Now it's about keeping that kneecap-biting mentality and never letting up. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates on this team that's changing NFL history.